Hi, my name is Ryan Wallner. Welcome back to another Portworx demo. Today we're going to be focusing on PX Backup 2.1. PX Backup 2.1 adds the additional capability of backing up file systems. So this gives you the ability to back up applications running on NFS shares, as well as the backup and recovery of Portworx proxy volumes, which allows you to map external storage like NFS into a Kubernetes cluster. It also gives you the opportunity to back up on-prem and cloud-based file systems like FlashBlade File or AWS EFS. So let's dive into it. Here we have a Kubernetes 119 cluster. There's a couple different namespaces we'll be working out of today. The one is FlashBlade. Here we see a FlashBlade file PVC. And the second is an example namespace. This is a NFS Ganesha backed NFS volume using the NFS provisioner in Kubernetes. So both of these volumes are non-Portworx volumes. And what we're going to do is back up these volumes and restore them to Portworx volumes. But first, let's add some data. So in our example namespace, we have an Nginx container, which maps the NFS volume to user share Nginx HTML. And what we can do is add a file simply by adding a simple demo file. This will give us the ability to back up and confirm this data later. So now that we have some data, let's pop into PX Backup and look at our namespaces. We have example and FlashBlade, as we saw earlier. Let's go ahead and back up our example namespace. This is everything in it. So let's give the backup a name, as well as select a backup location and click Create. This will kick off the backup for that NFS volume. Now let's head back to our FlashBlade namespace and click Backup. Same thing here, give it a backup name, select the backup location, and click Create. This will kick off the backup for that FlashBlade file volume. So now we're backing up both of the file systems. The NFS Ganesha backup is now complete. So now let's touch one more file because we want to add some data post backup so we can compare that we've restored the correct data. So now we have two files and our backup should contain just the one. So now to restore this volume, click on the backup and select Restore. Give the restore a name, as well as select the restore location. Make sure to select custom restore and map the storage class from your source storage class to a Portworx storage class. This shows that the backup is portable across backend storage types. We're going to map our example namespace to example 2, so we have a net new namespace to compare to. Click Restore. Now we see our NFS restore to PX starting, and that will restore the NFS volume to a Portworx volume. What we'll do is watch the resources in that example 2 namespace. So let's get the pods and the PVCs in that example 2 namespace. Here we see that NFS PVC is now mapped to a brand new PVC based on the Portworx read write many storage class. And the restored job is completing the data transfer. Now our PVC restore is done. So let's head back to our backups and restore our FlashBlade backup. Click Restore on the FlashBlade backup. Same thing here. Give it a name. Select the destination, restore, choose custom restore, and map the pure FlashBlade to Portworx read write many, and map the FlashBlade namespace to example 2. And click Restore. Now we can see that backup job occurring just like our previous one. Now what we can see is both PVCs, which were mapped to NFS or file system based volumes, are now created in this example 2 namespace, both based on the Portworx storage class, showing the portability from one backend type to another. So now what we'll do to confirm the data within the example here, we can spin up our Nginx pod because we didn't select the deployment in our backup and restore. And we see that our NFS PVC is already created in this namespace because we restored it. Now we can get the pods that we just spun up, which is just our Nginx container, and hop into that pod to check out the mount point as well as the data in it. So let's exec into this container real quick. And here we can see that the PXD device is now mapped to user share Nginx HTML, and we see our one demo file. So this confirms that we've used NFS to back up and store data in a Kubernetes application, take a backup with PX Backup, and restore to a Portworx volume, and continue to use our application as it were before, now on Portworx. So I hope that was useful, and until next time, take care.